listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast. Make yourself famous. A podcast covering all things WWE.
I have now returned to save the WWE.
NXT.
The beautiful part of NXT is that when one dream ends, another dream begins.
And AEW.
Holy wrestling. I couldn't be more happy.
Here are your hosts, Kyle Gagliardi and Jim Tucker.
Is going on, everyone? You're listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, hosted by the Marks, for the Marks, and I'm your host, Mr. OTM, Kyle Gagliardi. And my co-host this evening isn't my good friend Jim Tucker. It is the part-timer himself, Ian Garvalia. Ian, how are you doing, my friend?
I am doing wonderful. Can't wait for the part-timer's name to be mentioned in the intro at some point.
Never going to happen.
Probably not going to happen. Just like, you know what? It'll happen as soon as the vlog comes out for that Warrior show.
There you go. Which, by the way, spoiler alert, that vlog is not going to be public. So you will not be seeing that.
Correct.
We also are joined for the second week in a row. I'm promising you all, she's not back full-time, but she's plugging in for Jim Tucker. It is Erica_0328. What's up, dog?
It is. What up, dogs? 2 weeks in a row. It's been a good week in wrestling, I'd say. Ian, I know not everybody can see. Have your cats multiplied?
No, the cat's running around now because I think he found a fly somewhere.
Oh, good. He's hard at work, so.
And that cat's name is Max.
That is Max.
Maxwell Jacob Freeman?
Yes. He is better than you.
And you know it. The chat's already blowing up. Kine's in the house. He's saying, yo, what's going on, Kine? Welcome back for another episode. Steve in the house, of course, too. He says, bring it on. Thursdays are spelled O-T-M. Pat's trickling in. Pat's in the Discord. You should be in the Discord, too, if you want to be a part of that and chat with the OTM crew. All you got to do is reach out to us, and we will get you that invite. Pat just purchased AEW Fight Forever, so me and him may be playing one-on-one. Ian, do you have any intentions of getting AEW Fight Forever?
When it's not $70, then yes, sure.
I'll tell you what, and I'm going to be honest with you guys here, and I was even talking to Erica about the game a little bit today as well. For that price, it's not worth it. Like, it's very archaic, you know, and it's basic. There's not much to it. You have the Road to the Elite, which is pretty random, and as a whole, I'd give it a 6 out of 10. I don't know. It's just not doing it for me. Erica, you saw some complaints on Twitter, too, from people you're following, correct?
I did. Didn't fully understand them, but I did.
I was going to say, you playing any video games these days or no?
No, I'm not.
Past that. What was your favorite game back in the day?
That you would know. Mortal Kombat. I was a big Mortal Kombat kid. Also, when Sega first came out, I used to love to play Aladdin. I feel like no one ever played that, but I loved it. And obviously the Marios. Yeah, the Marios are classic. I bought a Wii just to buy the nothing for a shooter because I do not have coordination. So.
Yeah, I'm not good at those games either. And if you watch Ian on Twitch, it seems like he's not good at those first shooter games either. Eric Douglas is in the house. He's saying hello. How you doing, Eric? Thanks for stopping by. And Kine is relaying the message that Robbie Collins gives his hellos as well. Ryan Vogus also checking in with the Queen emoji, Erica.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to acknowledge that, of course. But we're here to talk about Forbidden Door a little bit, and of course, Money in the Bank happening on Saturday. But before we do, Ian, we got to remind the listeners that we have some fantastic merch. You can see it right here. I'm wearing the Honorary Mark t-shirt, the hottest design on our website at the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.com. And if you use code MITB, that spells out Money in the Bank, how much money is that going to save them, Ian?
We didn't go over this, but
it's the same thing every time, man.
10%.
Thank you, Erica. You're not even a co-host anymore, and
I was just testing Erica. Good. Thank God she's on it.
10% off, like Erica Marini said. Thank you. Maybe you should be the part-timer, and I should delegate Ian Jesus Christ. But hey, go to the website, support the show, and don't forget to fill out those predictions for the Money in the Bank PLE title, bit.ly/MITB23. Right now, me and Ryan Matthews are the OTM PLE champions. So fill out your predictions. See if you can dethrone us. You probably won't. It's okay. Shit happens.
Someone please do it.
But Ian, on Twitter, we do have something going on for this t-shirt. You want to tell the listeners about that?
Yes. So if you go to the On the Mark Twitter, there is a giveaway going on right now. If you want yourself an honorary Mark shirt, the exact same one that Gags has on, not the same exact
Not that one.
The same
you don't want this one.
You don't want that one.
You do not want that one.
You can, and I mean you can get this thing for free unless you're overseas and we have to pay for shipping. Then you're probably gonna have to pay for shipping, especially if you live in Indonesia. But you can get that shirt for free. All you have to do is like and retweet. Do I believe?
Like and follow. You don't need to retweet. A retweet helps, so I'm not opposed to that. But like Kine said, when he gets paid, he's gonna cop himself an honorary Mark shirt. But he could also just like the tweet and pay for shipping, and we can get him a t-shirt. Ian, what are you pointing to? Is your cat going crazy behind you?
Yeah, you see him in the back right there.
I don't know. Oh, he wants to be on TV. Look at him.
There's always room for you, Max.
Stealing the show. Usually it's one of Erica's pets that are stealing the show, but this week it's Ian. Pat says Ian handling 10% of the duties tonight, just like the discount. Hey!
Good one.
Love that comment there from Pat. But yeah, don't forget to do all that great stuff. But let's go back to this past Sunday, guys. I don't want to discuss too much about this show because it was a long one and we're here mainly to talk about Money in the Bank. But there are a few things that happened this past Sunday at Forbidden Door that I think are worth talking about. But first, Erica, I know last week you talked about going all out for Forbidden Door. What was the experience like? How many shirts did you end up wearing by the end of the night? And did you enjoy yourself?
I did. The experience was awesome. My Japanese treats went over swimmingly. And then we got sushi, and I think I texted you guys a picture of some of it. I was just insatiable and couldn't stop. It was awesome. I ended up wearing, I think, 3 different shirts and a CM Punk hoodie. Zip up? I forget. But I was most mad, Kyle, that I forgot my Forbidden Door I Was There shirt. That would have been my perfect neutral in between matches shirt to wear. Damn it. I'll do that for all.
What was your favorite Japanese snack that you had? I'm not too familiar with them. I don't know if you can think of it off the top of your head.
There was one called it tastes like, it feels like a Cheeto Puff, and it's called, like, I'm gonna butcher it, like umaibi, UMAIBI, and they come in like all different flavors. And because you don't read Japanese, you don't know what they are. So there's like fish, but the one that I chose happened to be cheese, and it was awesome. And there was also a really good cookie. I took a picture of the wrapper.
I'm sure that was tasty. Ian, we had ourselves an eventful Sunday. We were going down to play wiffle ball in Indianapolis. We got hit with a tornado warning. A lot of rain came down, obviously. Games got canceled. So we looked on the bright side. We said, we're going to go to Taco Bell. Ryan Vogus' 3rd time going to Taco Bell, by the way. So
first time inside, right? He said
first time inside, yeah. So we got to order on the kiosk and everything. And then we made our way back for Forbidden Door. So it really wasn't that bad of a Sunday, was it, Ian?
Besides the 5 hours of driving for basically nothing, a decent Taco Bell visit. That was about it. It was fun. It was a good Sunday. We watched Forbidden Door. I mean, we'll talk about it a little bit, but probably the best pay-per-view of AEW's lifetime, arguably.
Ooh, a lifetime. Okay, I don't know about that, but I definitely think it is one of the better ones that they've done. I think we can all agree there. And it looks like Kine said he's down with that. So if you are outside of the U.S. and you want to be a part of this giveaway and you promise you'll pay for your shipping, we will take care of the shirt itself. And Steve was at your door, Ian, by the way. He said, knock, knock. Did you let him in? Obviously.
No. He stayed outside.
Maybe a hot take from Ryan Vogus. He says Taco Bell mid. Thoughts, Marini?
I think it depends on what you get from there. I know that his experience was less than satisfying, so give it another go. Find something you like. Try their breakfast. Their breakfast crunch wraps are yes.
I don't like their breakfast.
Have you tried their breakfast crunch wrap?
I have, and I thought it was mid.
It's better. It's best. No, it's better without meat, and you have to catch it when the hash browns are fresh. There's some variables. I
was gonna say, how much is around this thing? Like,
Like,
I gotta
order
show up
from
at
the hour.
8:15. Make sure the hash browns are fresh off the press.
What?
Even when they're bad, they're pretty good.
All right, take her advice if you must, audience. Ryan Vogus is also saying Marini can make my next order. Kyle and Ian failed me. He said the one thing I gave him was a crunch wrap, and that was his favorite thing. So
Yeah.
I think more Ian failed you than I
Didn't
failed.
like anything that I mentioned.
Did you get him a cheesy gordita crunch?
I did.
And he didn't
He
like
didn't
that,
like it.
Bogus?
That's my number one.
Maybe it was just a bad Taco Bell. And Kyne's never had Taco Bell. Kyne, I don't know where exactly you live. Maybe they're not around your area, and if they are, maybe give them a try. You
Give it a
never
shot.
know. So let's go. There's like 3 big things I want to talk about, and if you guys got anything that comes to mind about Forbidden Door, please, speak up. But I think the first thing that we should talk about here is a big heel turn happening in AEW. And this happened after Jungle Boy lost his match at the Forbidden Door pay-per-view. And I was saying when we were watching this, and Ian can even attest to it, and he agreed. I want to put that on the record. Ian agreed with me at the time. We're like, Jungle Boy is he needs something, whether it's a heel turn, a character change. And then we get to the end of the match. He's walking back up. The camera's staying on Hook and Jungle Boy. He delivers a clothesline, turns heel. He even cut a promo on Dynamite that was pretty solid. Marini, I'll go to you first because you are our guest. First, were you shocked to see this happen? And are you a fan of heel Jungle Boy? Is this something you believe he needed?
I do believe that he needed it. I don't know if I was shocked. I think like you guys saying, like when the camera's staying on them that long and we all kind of felt that something was bound to happen. Was it Hook turning on him or Jungle Boy turning on Hook? It happened. Like I said, I do think that he needed it. So I was very interested. I was really tired last night. I had my eyes closed during a lot of his promo, which at some parts I was grateful for because some of the lines just did not hit. And I just feel bad because I just always feel bad when no one gets a crowd reaction. And
to be fair though, Erica, sorry to cut you off. That crowd wasn't great all night. I thought it was a piss poor crowd.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens next week. But I'm interested in it. I like it. I like was it that little thing that happened backstage? Oh, maybe must have been on, I don't know. It's just a different side to him, a different side of Hook, I guess, kind of. I think the two of them will play well off of each other. So I think for him to turn heel, I think this is a good time and person to do it against. And I'm interested in it.
Yeah, Ian, I thought the turn was well executed. What do you think about this whole Jungle Boy turning on Hook situation?
Yeah, no, I actually was surprised until you pointed it out. I didn't even expect him to turn heel. I just figured, he lost. It's Jungle Boy doing his thing, losing and hyping up the crowd with his music, and that's about it.
Yeah.
But now we realize, because we were wondering last week with why is Hook joining Jungle Boy at ringside. So obviously it makes sense now. But the thing I'm really intrigued about is the feud between Jungle Boy and Hook and seeing where this could go. I want to know what Taz's interactions will be because Taz is going to be on commentary. Personally, I would like to watch some kind of disgruntled dad not wanting to fight for his son, wanting him to learn his lesson kind of thing. But I think there's a lot of things you could do with the storyline, which I'm pretty intrigued. I'm excited by.
You brought up Taz. I wanted to pull up this comment from Steve. He said Taz is definitely getting taken out at one point by Jack Perry in his feud with Hook. Yeah, I think he could be an integral part of that feud going forward. And honestly, call me crazy, maybe he should have done something at the Forbidden Door instead of just talking on the microphone. Why don't you get up and go defend your son up there and break the fourth wall? Ian, you're shaking your head no.
No, that's why I differ. I think because Taz has said it before. He's done fighting. He's done wrestling. And I think this is a good opportunity for Hook to do something instead of having
on his own.
Instead of a new viewer coming in and watching Hook wrestle. They don't want to see his dad fighting his fights. They want to see that's Hook, not Taz's son.
Yeah, no, that's a fair point. Let's go to the chat because it looks pretty active. Steve's also saying Jungle Boy's heel turn was fun. Promo on Wednesday didn't work for him either. So Erica, you're not alone on that one. If we get Hollywood Jack Perry, then he needs a manager. Perhaps call that person his agent. A mouthpiece would help. Erica, do you think that would help him?
He did. I have to say, he did better than I expected. I was surprised at how well spoken he was and how confident he was on the mic, especially compared to promos in the past. I do think having a mouthpiece. I like the idea of calling his agent, and
that's good.
So what? You got a good mouthpiece, and then like Jungle Boy's not so bad on the mic. That's double good.
I just
that's even better.
Yeah, I just worry for Jungle Boy though. If we keep saying he needs a mouthpiece, is he ever going to be able to handle it on his own? I mean, he's been on TV now for 3 or 4 years, and we're still saying he needs someone to represent him to be more credible. We know what he can do in the ring. He's a great wrestler, and I thought he was a very good babyface. But I think this, we keep reiterating the points, but this was in desperate need. He needed to change something just to be more interesting. I thought he was becoming stale on AEW television. So looking forward to what's to come between Jungle Boy and Hook, and then obviously after that, because this feud will probably be for a couple months and then have a match at All In, and then they both probably will move on. Let's go to the chat once again, though. Pat said it seemed like Jungle Boy turning heel had to happen to continue and to keep him from being stale. Yeah, basically what I was just saying, for a lack of a better term. Yep, seems like we all are on the same page there. Kine is saying that he's got, hold on, it's once again being slow for me. He's got meh charisma, but the crowd was bad in all fairness. See, we're not the only ones that noticed the crowd being pretty piss poor. Ryan Vogus with a comment said all the comparisons of him looking like Hyde from that 70s show didn't help. I didn't even notice that until you brought that up. Yeah. And Dirk Vogus in the house. He says, hi, everyone. And Ryan, look at that. He even says hi to his son in the chat. What a great dad. Couple more comments here, and then we can move on. Kine says, Jack Perry could take Taz out, then Hook has to fight his own battle. Yep, that definitely could be happening. And Steve said, I'm looking forward to what his new entrance music will be moving forward.
He did say we will not be hearing that moving forward.
You know what I do? And it's kind of Ciampa-esque, as you're wearing that shirt right now. Give them the beginning of the Tarzan Boy theme song, and then just cut it out and be completely silent. Blacktron, walk out there to a crowd of boos. I believe Dolph Ziggler did that at a point. It wasn't that effective. But you know what I'm saying? Just hit that music so everybody gets excited. Here we go. Let's start waving. No, shut it off.
Yeah, we're not doing that anymore. I told you we weren't. Yeah.
Any additional comments, or you guys want to move on?
I think we covered everything.
Yeah, I think so. So let's go to what may be my favorite match of all time. I am putting that on the record right now. Been watching since 2011. This lived up to the hype and then some. And of course, I'm talking about Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay. There's really no way to put this into words what happened. If you haven't watched it, please find a way to watch it, because there's so much that went down in this match. You guys can bring up some points from the match that impressed you, or just speak on this, because I really can't put into words how impressive this match was.
It was a story from start to the end. We all kind of figured that Ospreay was going to win this because you have the trilogy available. But still, hitting him with a one-winged angel was the biggest takeaway that I had. And then the kick out at one.
Yeah. And he's all bloody.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
I honestly, and that doesn't hurt that move at all, because you're hitting the guy that invented the move with it, and he
he scouts. He obviously knows how to defend that move. Yeah,
right. And only Kenny Omega can do a good one-winged angel. So, I don't really have much to say about the match other than the fact, the one thing I did have, I listened to Busted Open, and Bully Ray spoke of this.
Tiger Driver 91.
No, Don Callis getting thrown from the match and then just coming back down to the ring. Now, after I heard that and him talk about that, I didn't even realize it. So it's not too big of a I guess, letdown or negative about the match, but it's still, once you see that and you try to watch that match, it's like the ref didn't even care.
No,
so that's my only. But again, not to take away from that match, because
if that's your one gripe about it,
right?
The one gripe is what happened on outside the ring.
Outside of
And I guess the one thing on the inside of the ring is what I was going to bring up, and Vogus commented on. Tiger Driver 91 should never be done again, because Kenny was dropped on his head. Obviously, he's okay. I haven't heard any reports saying otherwise. But Erica, this has to be the match of the year, in my opinion. Do you share that same opinion?
Easily. I think I had said to you, was it that same night that like the next day, as soon as it was over, I wanted to watch it again. Like it was just, and I don't get too many of those matches. I remember the last match that I felt that one was Ring of Honor Supercard last year, Briscoes versus FTR.
Good one.
The first one, yeah. And I went back and immediately watched that again. That is what I felt with Omega and Ospreay. It was just, it's almost like you can't put it into words because it was just perfect. It was great. It was every positive adjective that you could think of.
And I think we're going to get that trilogy too. I think at All In, sorry, not All Out. They did announce All Out's going to be in Chicago, and us three will be there. The reuniting of Marini and OTM. You love to see it. But yeah, I think we definitely will see that third match at All In. I mean, I feel like it has to be, right, Ian? Like, there's no way they can't do a third. It has to be a rubber match.
Yeah, but I hopefully it's at All In, and hopefully Omega's okay. Hopefully. We haven't heard anything, which Omega's really good at keeping everything quiet because he has the pole around there. Yeah. So hopefully it happens. But I don't know. I did see the outline. And speaking of injuries, do you want to talk about Danielson?
Yeah, I wasn't even going to bring that up, but what was the exact injury again? Obviously arm related.
I was going to say, I don't know if you saw the x-ray, but his, I don't know what the bone is in the arm, but it's completely snapped in half. So
it's not great. I don't know if it has to do with the style that he's now wrestling in AEW being more prone to injury, because I don't think he got this hurt in WWE, because this is what, like the second or third injury that Danielson's had since joining AEW. It's major. It's worrisome. Yeah. I'm worried about him and his well-being. But Ian, I want to go back to you tweeted this out because there was a video of the match showing like 3-minute clips of this. This is a match that you can show to a random Joe Schmo that doesn't like wrestling or has never watched. And this is a perfect introduction to wrestling, wouldn't you say, Ian?
Yeah, no, that's picture perfect pro wrestling right there. It's not just guys in tights and short tights with good bodies slapping meat. It's good matches. It's good
storytelling.
It's good crowds. The crowd is perfect. Everything was perfect.
Yeah.
That's going to be the first match I'm going to show. Honestly, Mason, I'm going to show him that match, and I'm going to try to get him hooked with that.
Yeah. Anything else you'd like to add, Erica, before I go to the comments?
No, but no.
Okay. Well, let's go to the mayor's comment then. We're going back to the last conversation piece here. He said, I get nothing from Jack Perry so far, but let him come out to 90210 theme song and drive out in a 94 Porsche 911.
Do it.
That'd be hilarious. Kind said, oh my God, Omega versus Ospreay was out of this world. I've never seen a better match live. It was so goddamn good. Loved every second of it. It was so impressive. And I think impressive is a very good word. Like you said, Erica, I don't think there are words, but impressive might be the closest one to use here. Eric Douglas says, I really want Ospreay versus Danielson if Brian ever gets healthy. Whew. Mm-hmm. Why not, right?
Yeah.
Fuck it. We ball. Steve, he's got a comment about Don Callis here. He said, I agree that the Don Callis comeback is my only critique. Will Ospreay is truly the best in the world right now. And that's funny he brought that up. I don't know if you guys saw my tweet. I think Will Ospreay might be my favorite. I think he might be the best wrestler in the world right now, Erica.
That would be hard to argue. I respect that. He's definitely in my top 3.
Ooh, who's your top 3?
Top 5. Don't put me on the spot.
No, come on. Are you going to put Eddie up there?
Well, one is her. No, these are all legitimate.
Okay.
Yeah, not
so
5.
One of them is Danielson then.
Yes.
I think Ian would agree with that. He's your number 1.
Ospreay second.
I would say I think I'd put Ospreay 1, Danielson 2, and Seth Rollins 3. I mean,
so Seth Rollins my 3.
I mean, he's got to be up there. The dude is just incredible in the ring. A couple more comments, and then we'll move on. Kine says, Ian makes a good point, though. For the whole sake of rules and et cetera, it hurt it. But for the in-ring, unbelievable. His first time watching Will live, and he was not disappointed. Yeah, you picked a good show to tune in to see Will Ospreay, that's for sure. And it looks like Kine's still interested in going, and tickets are available. So, Kine, if you have the opportunity to go to All In, I say you definitely do that because it looks like it's going to be a stacked card. Kine said my top 3 is Will Ospreay, Seth, and Daniel. Okay, so once again, those 3 mentioned there in the top 3. It's hard to argue against that, but I wanted to touch on that match for sure. Obviously, Danielson versus Okada happened, which was really good. Erica, anything additional you'd like to bring up from the Forbidden Door pay-per-view that caught your eye? Maybe Ishii winning, getting the pin. I feel like that was very
and we
insignificant.
were all talking shit during that match.
Like, why? Why him?
Yeah.
It doesn't progress any stories.
I don't know. I guess we'll have to stay tuned. Don't shit on my dudes.
I'm not shitting on them. I'm just saying. I think Ian would agree with me, right? Ian, you were confused when you saw Ishii get the win?
Correct. Did not make any sense. But
maybe it was a way to keep it neutral. I don't know.
Why
maybe
keep it neutral? Why are we going neutral when we need to be going forward? I know we're getting the blood and guts.
Because then it's from there's nobody that's currently involved or going to be involved in blood and guts that like got one over on.
See, that was my issue, and I talked about it while we were there and watching, is no storyline was driven forward besides Ospreay and Omega, because they're going to cross again at some point. Ospreay could be signed to AEW for all we know. There was no story that got driven forward, even though it was still there. Jungle Boy turned heel. That's about it. But the thing is, people are arguing this is supposed to be like a mashup between the two companies and a one-off kind of thing, which I get it, but you could do so much more with it because you have that open door. You could send AEW guys to New Japan. You could get New Japan guys into AEW. Obviously, I don't know the contracts, but it's possible.
Their roster's already crowded.
And you're right. And kind of same thing with last year, too. There wasn't anything that I can think of, any storyline that had really anything to do before or after Forbidden Door. Yeah, so.
Hey, look at this.
And it could.
Positive comment from Ryan Vogus. He said, no denying the crowd loves Eddie. Yeah.
Wow. Screenshot that for me.
There you go, everybody. Screenshot that. Vogus complimenting Eddie Kingston. So overall grade, Ian, you're the teacher here. I know Tuck's really the teacher, but give me a letter grade for Forbidden Door.
It's going to be a 97% A. Not an A+, 97%.
97. Erica, what's your grade for the Forbidden Door pay-per-view?
I'll give it a soft A+.
Soft
which
A+.
I feel
so
like
98?
Yeah, 98 probably.
Yeah.
Damn. I was gonna say a 93. I think it's an A-, just because I feel like the 2 marquee matches that everybody was looking forward to kind of carried the pay-per-view as a whole. I thought Tony and Willow kind of went a little too long. Like Vogus said when we were watching, maybe they listened to last week's episode where Ian said, give them 20 minutes to work because they almost went 20 minutes, it seemed like. But yeah, I definitely give it a 93, a very, very good show. Definitely in my top 3 AEW pay-per-views of all time, which is kind of unfair to say since New Japan's involved, but you know what? I'm going to say it. Eric's top 3, he's sharing that. He's got Will at number 1, Seth at 2, Kenny at 3, Brian at 4. Yeah,
that's my kind of top 3. 4 guys.
Exactly. Steve said Eddie and Moxley's story was certainly interesting on the night and on Dynamite also. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how that one progresses as well. But we're finally here. The main reason we are here is to talk about Money in the Bank happening this Saturday from the O2 Arena in the UK. It's going to be a good show. I'm very excited for it. But before we get to that, guys.
Green.
You see that?
Yeah.
It doesn't look, I'm going to have to tweak that, but I'll tweak that after we hear what the listeners are saying about the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast.
What's everybody saying about the On the Mark Podcast?
It's just insane, and I love it.
Non-stop hardcore energy.
Unlike any other.
It's a great show.
We'll be right back after a brief intermission.
My dog just looked really cute. I had to go bother him. Oh, I thought you were giving me a dirty look. I thought it came back to 2. Uh-oh.
We might have lost Gags. Oh, there it is.
No, it's doing the same thing it did last week. I don't know why it plays it twice on my end, the intermission, and then I go mute. I don't know why. Don't ask why. Technology. What are you gonna do? I got my Ethernet. That's all that matters. Money, money, money in the chat. Everybody's singing along. It is time. Yeah, Pat's ready. He gives us a good, yeah, this is LA Knights time. And he loves that background. Yeah, Google Images works wonders. I didn't do shit to that background. So shout out to Google. But yeah, I am the OTM PLE champion, or one half of them. So I will go first here. Let's start off with the Women's Tag Team Championship match. We have Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, the champs, taking on a returning Liv Morgan and her former partner, Raquel Rodriguez. This one, I could see going either way. I wouldn't be surprised if Liv and Raquel were to win here, but I think this is relatively new in the reign of Ronda and Shayna. I said it on Steve's stream the other day because they were talking about Money in the Bank predictions as well, how I believe we are eventually going to get to a point where Ronda and Shayna have a singles feud, and I'm hoping that culminates at WrestleMania next year. I think you might as well do it at the biggest stage, but it's too soon for the cracks to be in this tag team. They just took the NXT tag titles off of Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, so they're the unified champions. I think it would be the wrong choice to take the belts off of them. An unpopular opinion, I like what Ronda and Shayna are doing as a tag team, so I'm going to go with a retain here. Ian, what about yourself?
I am also going with a retain. Ronda and Shayna, they've been very vocal off of the screen on wanting to legitimize the tag team division, women's tag team division, and think they deserve more thunder than they do in screen time. And I think this is going, and it's being heard by creative. So strap it on Ronda and Shayna. I don't know how long it'll last, and I don't know what it's going to come out of, but they're legitimate opponents and legitimate team, and they mesh well together. Still champs.
Erica, what do you think? Liv's back.
I know, and I love that she's back. I love the reception that she got, but like you said, I think there's something to be said about what Ronda and Shayna want to do with this belt, or with these belts, and what they are doing with it. So I'm going to also say that they retain. But do you think that Ronda versus Shayna at WrestleMania is something that people want?
Yes. I think it's something that people want, but you also got to think about, I mean, Ronda ain't going nowhere for a little while. Shayna's not going anywhere for a little while.
No, I don't want Shayna to go anywhere. She was like she was my champ in NXT. And when she got called up and kind of just nothing happened with her, like I just don't know. And I mean this, I'm not saying like, I don't know, but like, I genuinely don't know, like if the crowd is behind them or would be behind that, I guess. And I hope that they are.
It's a good question. Chat, people watching live, would you be in for a Ronda and Shayna match at WrestleMania down the line?
Because I think it's a different style women's wrestling than the like normal WWE.
More shoot style.
Right, fan would be accustomed to. So I don't know.
Yeah, and like Steve's doing, if you want to share your predictions as well as we go match by match, please, by all means, leave that in the comment section as well. Steve is going with Ronda and Shayna to retain, and hopefully the start of building the women's tag division. If the WWE doesn't build a women's tag division with Ronda as champ, then they never will. I think that's a good point, guys.
Yeah, with Sasha and Bayley as champ, then they really never will. Was their first like fuck up.
Wait, who's Sasha? All I know is money.
Money.
Oh boy.
Money in the Bank. Oh, Sasha's coming back at Money in the Bank to ask Mercedes Moné, and that's the first thing you hear when she comes out. Money. That'd be Mage right there. That would definitely be Mage. Pat says a retain for sure, but I'm not sold on this match. It should be a no DQ. Not yet. Maybe if, they win in a sneaky heel way, then you can get to a no DQ match, and I'd be in for it. I would love to see these four in a TLC match or something. Yeah, that would be interesting. Ryan Vogus says 3 years too late. I'm assuming he's talking about the tag team of Shayna and Ronda, which I'd probably agree with him. Pat said they did Shayna dirty in her main roster call-up storylines. Erica, I know you probably agree with that statement.
I do. I don't know why
Let's go to the mayor's comment here. Ronda and Shayna in a pit fight. I think that's what the WWE calls it. Yeah, the fight pit, I think is what they actually, close enough. At Mania would be fun. It'd be tough for them to set up, but I think that'd be a good match for them. Steve said, I'm up for Ronda versus Shayna. I still want Ronda versus Becky, but perhaps that ship has sailed. Yeah, I think a lot of people wanted to see Ronda versus Becky, but maybe it'll happen at WrestleMania, Steve. Don't count it out just yet. Kine said, I'd like to see Shayna versus Ronda as well. So here you go, Erica.
Okay,
I know it's not a big sample size.
But this makes me happy. So the answer that I wanted, I guess.
There you go. Eric said, I think Liv and Raquel will both be single stars by the end of the match. I think one can dethrone Rhea. Yeah, I definitely could see Raquel getting a title shot very soon, right?
That has to be Raquel. I think Liv's singles championship kind of push. I think that's kind of over with. At least for me personally, I don't see her really contending again. Maybe in a tag team, but
I know,
Raquel, yes,
bouncing tag partners.
Yeah, you can't keep hopping around like that, you know. First drink in a couple weeks, guys. Of course, it's going to be a long drink. That's a free plug right there.
Why do you short?
How do you do it?
Why do you short when long do trick, Erica? That's what I got to ask.
All right, Kevin.
There you go. And then the people that are leaving their picks in the comments, don't forget to leave your predictions at bit.ly/MITB23. Ian, you get to go first for this one. We got the American Nightmare himself, Cody Rhodes, taking on Dominic Mysterio. I know there's going to be a few people that are on the Dom bandwagon here. Where do you side? Does Cody get a win? Or does Dom get that heelish victory over Cody Rhodes?
Has the Judgment Day been banned from ringside? Is it going to be a one-on-one, or are they going to be there?
To my knowledge, they haven't yet. But maybe somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. I'm
going to say they do show up to the ring. However, they all get ejected, get a good pop. Cody Rhodes wins, hopefully. This is like an 80% chance he wins, but that 20% chance is just, I really want to choose Dom, but I'm going to go with Cody.
Erica, let's see if the chat can maybe do some convincing. Kine says Dom is taking the win. Steve says adrenaline in my soul. My pick is Cody Rhodes. And Pat said Cody, he won't lose, but it'll be a numbers game here that Cody needs to overcome again. Where are you at on this one?
Interesting. I don't know. I don't know. And you know me, I'm a little bit slacking. I guess Cody. Cody, because I don't know.
He needs something.
When does his story start? When does he start to finish that story again?
I thought we were trying to finish it a couple months ago, so we paused the story.
So are we getting back on the horse now? Is Dom Mysterio really the first step? Maybe so. I'm gonna take. Oh, damn it!
So
I hate these shows.
I wanted to pull up Vogus's comment here because I have seen people fantasy booking this. Vogus says Dom wins. Brock takes out Cody, because of course we're probably going to be getting Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam because they're tied 1-1 in their feud they got going on. Even if Brock interferes and takes out Cody, you can't have one of Cody's 3 losses in the WWE be to Dominic Mysterio. And that's not taking anything away from Dom because he's arguably the biggest heel right now in professional wrestling. I don't even care if the Judgment Day is the reason that Dom somehow got the win. I still don't think it's the right call. Cody needs to win, stay strong going into his 3rd match against Brock Lesnar. You can't convince me otherwise. So I'm going with Cody Rhodes here over Dom. And I'd be pretty mad if Dom picked up the win here. I think that would kill a lot for Cody Rhodes. And Vogus asked why. I think it does hurt Cody. Losing to Dom, it's going to make Dom, sure, but then everybody is just going to bring up, why is Cody in the title scene? He lost to Dominic Mysterio.
So here's the thing, though, with that. That's a good point, but also the point of WWE has never relied on wins and losses. It's always been on the crowd. And if he loses again, it just builds that anticipation for him to keep building up. So I see what you're saying, but also at the same time, you got to think of long term.
Yeah, for sure. Pat said Dom is such a huge heel. I love it so much. Steve said, I'd be shocked to see Brock travel to London. That was my thought as well, just to do a quick spot. Plus, I already have another return in mind for this show. And he said, Iron Man Kyle might know who I have in mind. Steve, I think I forgot because he's calling me Iron Man Kyle because I watched his 2-hour stream for Money in the Bank, but I forgot who he fantasy booked here. So Steve, please remind me in the chat because I'm drawing a blank.
Is it Drew?
Oh, maybe it is.
So, did you see that picture that they posted and they like blurred somebody out? It
was a flight attendant.
All you can see is the ear.
Somebody said it was a flight attendant that was confirmed that was blurred out. Or maybe that's a cover up.
Then you throw like an emoji over their face.
Yeah. Robbie said, woke up just too quickly. Give me men's Money in the Bank prediction. Yeah. I think Kine's liking the Drew idea as well. Drew probably returns after JD. Judgment Day takes out Finn. Yeah, it is Drew. That Steve is confirming that he thinks there's a possibility that Drew could show up. Voga said Brock goes to every single Saudi show. He collects the bags. He can make a flight to London. I know he can make a flight to London, but it's not a match that he's doing. I
guess we should listen to the president of the Brock Lesnar fan club.
He's very passionate about his guys, and Brock Lesnar is one of them. So, I mean, he might know something we don't know. Maybe Brock will show up here.
Goldberg return?
Okay.
I know bogus.
This is why I started drinking.
Why am I not?
Yeah, that's a shock, Erica. You all right? You
I didn't drink last week either.
Oh.
Last week I did feel under the weather.
That'll do it.
New year, new you?
Yeah.
Or something like that. No.
It's gonna be a long next 5 days, so I'm giving the old body a break.
Fair enough. Erica, you get to go first for this one. This one's for the Intercontinental Championship. Gunther taking on Matt Riddle. Who you got?
Gunther. I have.
We don't really need to sit here and talk much about it, right?
No.
I think it'll be a cool match.
Yeah, it'll be good. Because obviously Riddle's got that MMA background, so it'll be probably very physical of a match, but it just doesn't seem like Riddle's the guy. There's not enough story behind it, right?
No, and I feel like, I don't know, things are so odd with him right now.
He has kind of laid an egg since coming back. Do you think maybe Randy getting involved here in some way kind of revitalizes that of sorts?
That's what I'm saying is Randy has, ever since they were a tag team, Riddle became that much better and that much greater in the audience's eyes. So ever since Randy's been gone, it's just, there's nothing to do.
He's fallen flat, and it's unfortunate because I think he's very entertaining and a good wrestler. Let's see what Steve's got to say here. So I will share that booking, and we're going to go back to, I believe, the last match. What if someone is taken out of Money in the Bank by Drew, and Drew takes their spot, wins the briefcase, cashes in on Seth later that night to win the title in the UK?
He didn't get his win in, or was it Scotland? Was that the pay-per-view? Was that?
Where was Clash of...
Clay was at Clash of the Castle. Yeah, I don't know exactly where that was.
Say he didn't get his win there, and I mean he's close to retirement. Get him his big win there, even if it's a heel win.
I'd pop to see Drew come back. Drew's so good. I don't want to see him go anywhere else. Look at everybody just announcing the ring general. That was terrible. I know. I tried. It's not like Ludwig Kaiser. Have you ever noticed how Samantha Irving says Ludwig Kaiser? They pointed it out on Cheap Heat. You're going to have to look it up now because it's going to ruin it every time he comes out. It's like, Ludwig Kaiser. It's just calm like that. Yeah, it's very awkward coming out. And there's my impersonations for the night. Steve says, I don't see Randy returning here. I know, but one can wish. We can hope for it. I think RKO versus Imperium for SummerSlam can be fun. But again, can be done in the States. And it was in Cardiff where they did Clash of the Castle.
Wales, right?
Cardiff, Wales. That is correct.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I'm going with Gunther. Long story short, I'm going with Gunther. What about you, Ian?
Yeah, Gunther.
Fair enough. Kine's got a lengthy message here. Let's pull it up. Drew shouldn't win it. Drew shouldn't cash in at the same night. Money in the Bank has lost its meaning in recent years. Only Theory had a good run. It should be used to scare the champ and capitalize after a while. I do agree with you in the fact that I do not want to cash in at Money in the Bank, especially with the women's side of things. They've done that 3 times now, and it's only been around for half a decade, right?
I was going to say, and also men's, I feel like they cash in a lot on the same night or the day after, like the Raw after. They
They try to catch like lightning in a bottle, and it's
right.
Like,
and now that you have 2 major titles, single titles, like let the people speculate on what is going to happen.
Build something. Yeah. Let it
yeah,
build
because then
itself.
you can do the classic every week thing where the music hits, they come out with the briefcase, and they're like, no, not this week. But every time you hear that person's music, hypothetically speaking, you hear LA Knight's theme hit a week or 2 from now, you're going to pop because you're like, maybe now's the time. So we will see. Pat's got a question for us. He said, we're talking about Drew and Randy possibly coming back. Any thoughts on other returns? What about Carlito or Big E? Any thoughts, your picks for surprise returns? I think Randy's my surprise return, but I wouldn't be opposed to Carlito or Big E coming back. What about you guys?
Carlito will not be back. I hate to be a spoiler, but he is not going to be coming back to WWE.
Wasn't he just in a video at an indie talking about going to WWE?
Did not see that.
I thought literally like last week he said goodbye to an independent company saying that he's going back to WWE.
Oh.
Correct me if I'm wrong, chat, because I would love to shove it in Ian's face.
Haven't seen it.
So you sure that Carlito's not coming back?
Well, he said on Chris Van Vliet's podcast that he did not anticipate on returning to WWE at all. He's making a lot of money on the independents.
There seems to be a lot of people. I know Matt Cardona stated that he's making more money in the indies than he was in WWE. That's just because he's a great marketing man, which we'll see that Cardona
too, but that's because she hitched her wagon to the right horse. I'm not saying she did it. I'm just saying her wagon got hitched to the right horse.
It ended up working out for her, right?
Yeah. Oh, I love her now way more than NXT. She's killer.
Yeah. She didn't click in NXT, that's for sure. Steve said no women's title on the line, so we should get the second longest briefcase holder ever, even if it's 2 days. It's a good point.
Yeah, true.
They're doing that title match on SmackDown between Charlotte and Asuka. And Steve's saying that Carmella is currently the longest at 287 days. Which idea did I shoot down? Kind said Ian's opinion got shut down. Oh, the Carlito one?
Carlito.
Well, see, look, Pat said, that's right. I saw the video. So I got one person that saw the video as well. Carlito did do that, but he has been known to troll also. All right.
Okay,
so you could be right, Ian. Sorry for shutting you down.
It's okay.
I saw the video, so I just had to comment on it. Let's go to one of the Money in the Bank matches next. We did all pick on the last match, correct?
Yes.
Okay. The participants in this one are Zelina Vega, Trish Stratus, Zoe Stark, Becky Lynch, Bayley, and Io Sky. I think there is a lot of names. Actually, I'd probably say every name in this field has a legitimate shot to win. It's my turn to go first, too, isn't it?
Yes.
Shit. So, to be completely transparent, I did my predictions earlier in the day, sent them in the Tuck, and then I just texted Tuck 30 minutes before the show that I'm going to be changing a pick. So, my thought process is here, Bayley and Io are very intriguing just because they have the damage control dynamic. I'm counting out Trish. I'm counting out Zoe. I think it's too soon for Zoe, and they're very preoccupied in this Becky feud right now. Becky ending Monday Night, or not ending Monday Night Raw, but being on Monday Night Raw holding the briefcase is not a good sign as well. You don't want the go-home show person they usually don't win the briefcase on the show. So I'm counting Becky out. I know that might surprise some people. Becky's a favorite. I could easily see her doing that just to add to her already Hall of Fame resume, but I'm not choosing Becky Lynch. For me, it's between 2 people, Io Sky and Zelina Vega. The way Zelina Vega has been treated recently, it has shown that she can carry herself. I know she's got the backing of the LWO, but she's a fantastic promo, had a very good match and a good reaction against Rhea Ripley for the title. I think she's a prime candidate. But you look at someone like Io Sky, someone built for a ladder match, someone just on the cusp of breaking out, who we've seen reports of Triple H being very behind Io Sky, wanting to give her that singles push. But I think the Bayley dynamic, that there could be fireworks that come out of it. So I don't want to pick Io Sky. I am going with Zelina Vega to win women's Money in the Bank. And this might be a surprise to some, because I have seen people saying Zelina Vega and the LWO have no shot at Money in the Bank. They couldn't be more wrong. I think Zelina Vega is ready for that briefcase. She is going to be great going on media talk shows with the briefcase, representing the brand. I think she's the perfect fit for this women's Money in the Bank. So I'm going with Zelina Vega, Ian.
That's a bold pick. But I agree that there is going to be fireworks between Io and Bayley. And I think that's what they're wanting. I think it's it's getting to the point where Damage Control is kind of a flop. Let's go back to what really worked with Io as a single and Bayley as a single. So that was my thought process. My two winners are between Io and Bayley.
Okay.
So, and I think it's a 50-50 shot between the two because I think either way
Becky's not on your radar then.
No, I don't think Becky's on my radar because outside of this, what do you have to lean back onto if Becky loses? You still have Trish Stratus in that storyline. Mm-hmm. That's all still there. Zelina, I think it was kind of the throw in. Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say Becky and Rhea had that confrontation backstage on Raw. I think Becky can get to a match with Rhea without having the briefcase. I think that might be the next step for Becky.
Yes, correct. That's also true. But Bayley and Io need something. They need some kind of storyline, and I think if either of them win it, they have a good storyline to keep them going. It'd split up the group, but it would be a good storyline. So I took a 50-50 shot, flipped the quarter. I'm going with Bayley.
Oh, former winner.
She's a former winner, and she's a former champ as well, so that's also in the back of people's minds. I think it'd be pretty enticing having Bayley because she hasn't done much. She's been a ring leader.
She hasn't. She's been putting over talent.
Right. So I think it's time to reward Bayley coming back as a heel. Make her an ultra heel.
Okay, so I'm going with Zelina. Ian's going with Bayley. Steve's going with Io. He said, let's get a storyline where Bayley gets jealous and can lead to the breakup of Damage Control. Pat is going with Io Sky. He thinks she could be the only one that can make the run with the briefcase rather interesting. All right, Erica, you've seen a few people's opinions. Has that persuaded you?
I didn't even need it. Everybody has read my mind. When reading them off on paper, I thought Zelina, I thought Bayley, I thought Io. I could see Zelina, like you said, I feel she's earned it. I feel like she deserves it. I think she would be great holding that briefcase, very Carmella-esque with it, especially holding on to it for a long time. I hope for Bayley to win it because, like Ian said, she's really not been doing anything, and she's been heading Damage Control, and I don't really know what's going on there. And I think that if there were to be some fireworks between the two, like that could lead to the demise, that could be its own thing, whatever. So honestly, Ian, when you said that, because you chose Zelina, when you said you were 50-50 on Bayley and Io, I was like, I'm going to pick whoever he doesn't pick. So I'm taking my girl, Genius of the Sky, Io Sky.
I respect that.
Erica, I had Io down earlier. So Io's more like the heart pick. Like Io's been my gal since NXT. I think she's fantastic.
See,
but Zelina it makes more sense to me personally.
Honestly, I think if Io loses this with Bayley winning the briefcase, I think you'd get a bigger reaction and a better face reaction if Io eventually turns on Bayley. Especially if the match ends with Bayley kind of like shoving her out of the way to win the briefcase.
Yeah.
You got something to write out of that.
Ian's cooking now. Here he is.
Cooking.
It took him a little bit. He's here. I love it. That's good. I guess that's some fantasy booking. Steve's got some fantasy booking. He said, Bayley, it could be fun to win and cash in when Io gets a championship match, steal the title, and we can build to Bayley versus Io down the line. I mean, just think of Io versus Asuka right off the jump. That's something we would love to see. Steve said Io has history of winning ladder matches in NXT, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed. Steve is going with the Genius of the Sky as well. Kyle likes my pick of Zelina Vega. I would definitely say it's a dark horse pick, but I'm a big fan of hers. I think she's got potential for sure. And there he is, ladies and gentlemen, our co-host, Jim Tucker, a.k.a. Tucker, in the chat.
That was quick.
What's going on, my friend?
Just a couple points.
Steve said Io and Bayley creates a story with that briefcase, something that Money in the Bank desperately needs to keep its credibility. You're right, Steve. The Mayor Canton says, I think Trish with the briefcase would be the most entertaining, and she wins Sorry, fat son. Fat thumb hit son. Gotcha.
I thought it was like fill in the blank. It would be
so did I.
The move, the worst decision.
Would you be opposed to Trish being Miss Money in the Bank?
No, if she maybe didn't have the thing with Zoe happening and Becky. I think she had less going on.
And like the chat saying, they expect Trish versus Becky one more time at SummerSlam. I definitely would agree with that as well. Let's pull up this from Eric. Let me ask, what is the difference between Zelina and Liv to WWE? Because I see Zelina has been pushed for a long time and Liv can't buy a push. Eric, I would actually flip that around. I think Liv is the one that gets pushed more than Zelina. Just as recently, Zelina's had the better push, but Liv was off with an injury. Liv won Money in the Bank. She had a world title reign. Zelina still hasn't had that opportunity. Would you agree with Eric here, Ian, or myself?
No, I'm going to agree with you. I think Zelina has gotten, she's had the most recent push, but it was the better push because of Puerto Rico.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of probably what makes you think it was a bigger push or more push. But
I think, recency bias on that one because as a career, Liv has definitely gotten more of a push, right, Erica?
What are you going to say, Ian?
Well, also, like after the Ruby Riot was done and the Riot Squad was done, Liv was always like they always try to shove her in our face, saying, "Hey, she's still around. She's the one guy or one gal that's still around out of that team." Yeah, so I guess technically that's being pushed. So, like on paper, it's Liv has been pushed a lot more.
Yeah, Kine said, Eric, that's cap. Liv got pushed loads last year. Zelina only got just pushed. Yeah, so. Kind basically reiterating what we were just saying. And I have to agree with Steve. If Trish were to win, we'd probably have to thank her. And let's all go on the record right now. Join me in saying, thank you, Trish. Come on.
Thank you, Trish.
Ian? Wow.
Oh, she's a heel. Don't like her.
Don't use the heel.
I'm a mark.
Oh, you're an honorary mark?
I'm on the mark.
Oh, damn.
Damn, he comes back quick with that.
He does.
It takes him 50 minutes to warm up, but man, he's got the zingers now. I love it. Good stuff from the part-timer. Let's go to the World Heavyweight title match. We got Seth freaking Rollins taking on, in my opinion, the best version of Finn Balor we have seen to date. He is clicking on all cylinders right now, Ian. Do you see him dethroning Seth here, or is it too soon?
This is another 50-50 shot for me. Because I honestly, if you give the Judgment Day gold to fight over, you have a lot of story there.
Mm-hmm. Just imagine Finn Balor with the World Heavyweight title, Rhea with her world title, and Damian Priest with the briefcase. Oh, God. It's a lot.
But back to my pick, I'm going to stick with Rollins because if you're going to have the first champion for this championship, make it a little lengthy. Because Rollins is a guy to remember with that championship as the first.
It's closer to home for Finn Balor, too. I saw a report that there is a big surprise plan for Money in the Bank. Could this be the match? Because like Pat's saying here, Erica, he kind of wants Balor to win. I kind of do, too, just the way he's been booked recently.
Well, and then there's the history between Seth and Finn for the Universal Championship back in the day and I love that all of that's been coming to light.
7 years in the making, like Pat said.
Yeah, I feel like Finn, I don't know how to describe it, but I feel like he's been given like not a facelift, he's just something shifted in him. Like yes. I like that. And I am so totally conflicted because I would love Seth Rollins to be champion for a long time. And I would love for Finn to get his vengeance on Seth. So I don't know. Who are you picking, Kyle?
Oh, so you're punting to me here, huh?
I'm gonna, and then I'm just gonna, I don't know.
Let's go to the chat real quick, and then I'll give you my pick. Kind says Rollins retains, and I think JD McDonough helps Priest win the Money in the Bank. And then post-match, when Balor loses, they attack Finn, and Priest wins, gets a good story going. Okay. All right.
It could be one of those matches that it depends on where it falls on the card.
That's a good point too, Erica. Because if it's after the men's Money in the Bank, then things get very interesting. Because I think a cash-in would be possible. I really do. Steve said match of the night candidate right here. Of course, Seth to get the dub. My actual prediction is the return of Drew and a stare down after this match with Seth to build to SummerSlam. Okay, Steve, I like it. Ryan Vogus said, I feel like we're not far off from a Judgment Day being a mega babyface faction. I don't know if I see it yet, but I definitely think they'd be over. How do you guys feel about Judgment Day potentially being a mega babyface faction?
It would be cool, but show your work.
I think people.
What are the hints? Yeah.
People love to hate Dom too much for it to happen right now. I don't know. I would like it. I think Rhea has a good chance of being babyface before anybody else.
Yeah, but now Rhea's getting heat just for standing next to Dom. Like they're finding ways for Rhea to get booed, which is very hard to do because everybody loves Rhea.
Right.
So credit to that. Juggernaut said Seth wins, and the big surprise will be Drew returning and taking out Rollins. Erica, I'm going to let the chat gave you enough to work with there. I'm not giving you my pick. I want you to give me.
Everyone's saying Seth. I would probably want Seth, but how am I going to sit here in front of this photo with this man and pick against him? I was the biggest Finn kid.
You have to, right?
Do I think Seth's going to win? Yes, but I'm going to take Finn Balor.
Wow.
I want to take Finn Balor, but I'm going to be the coward champion and pick Seth Rollins to retain because I want to retain my title. We're doing this together, Seth, me and you. All right? We'll have the crowd singing and everything. It's going to be fantastic. But like everybody's been saying, the match is going to be fantastic. Would love to see Drew show up. I think that would be a pleasant surprise. But Finn, like I said earlier, man, I think this is the best run he's been on this past month. Steve's saying that video package on Raw was the Finn we've needed for years. He has felt the best version of him since 2016 SummerSlam, and I believe that is when he won the Universal title.
I wonder if he comes out as Demon King.
I think the Demon's dead.
Oh, well, it would be like
he
poetic
justice,
edge,
you know?
It would be poetic justice if he wins but comes out as Demon King and wins that back from Seth, because that SummerSlam. My back hurts. Sorry.
That's fine. It happens. I have back pain now too that I'm 30, and apparently I strained my hamstring the other day too. This is 30. So Steve said I think we are close. We are close to our yearly Judgment Day turn. There has been friction with Finn and Priest as of late. I can see that continuing after Money in the Bank if Balor were to lose. But I'm going with Seth Rollins to retain, as is Ian. And Steve says, will the London crowd sing Seth's song throughout the whole match? London is going to be wild. Yes, it is going to be an electric atmosphere there in London. I'm excited for Saturday. We have a 2:00 start here in the Central Time Zone, which makes it 3 for you, Erica. I'll help you out there.
Thank you. You saw my eyes wondering.
You're welcome. That's what I'm here for. And don't forget, once again, guys, bit.ly/MITB23 to fill out your predictions to see if you can dethrone me and Ryan Matthews. I want to save the Money in the Bank match for last. I know we're already over a little over an hour right now. So let's go to the Bloodline Civil War. I believe they have stated this will be main eventing, but then again, it's Roman Reigns. Of course, he's going to be main eventing. And I think that means if they are main eventing, there's more stories to be told, more than the match itself. So, Erica, you get to go first for this one. I think this is arguably the toughest one to predict. Obviously, you could say the Money in the Bank's tough because there's multiple competitors, but I think you can make a strong case for the Usos and for Roman and Solo.
I mean, what are your thoughts on what could happen after storyline? Like after the match, do you think like there's a chance? Did I say this last time? Is there a chance like Sammy comes and like helps the Usos win?
I feel like they're done completely with the Bloodline. I feel like the Bloodline story is just the Bloodline now. I think it's just them 5, including Paul Heyman. So I couldn't see that. I think what happens after the match is, it's going to be caused what happens during the match. And in my opinion, I think it is time. And I say this last prediction show, so I guess I'm going to keep predicting it until it actually happens. But I think we finally see Roman Reigns get pinned. It's been
something
years.
Big, yeah.
And I don't know what the plan is for the SummerSlam match for Roman Reigns, whether it's a fatal 4-way for the title. Maybe it's him versus Jay, him versus Solo. I'm not sure. I guess we'll find out after this match concludes. But the way I'm booking this is Roman Reigns goes down for the 1, 2, 3 because of Jay Uso and Solo Sikoa siding with his brothers. I think Solo's going to Samoan spike Roman. I think we see the further dissension of the bloodline here at Money in the Bank. So I'm going with the ones. I'm going with the Usos. Erica, does that
now?
You win?
Yeah, I want exactly that. I don't even think I'm gonna be able to watch it live, but I literally just heard you say that, and I was like, I'm gonna be bringing multiple shirts again. Yeah, one being my We the Ones shirt.
That's right.
I mean, I'm leaning towards Usos, or I was leaning towards Usos anyway, but I just wasn't sure like what you thought, like other involvement. But I think it would just be like, I don't want to say poetic justice like 3 times on the same show, but it would just be like the cherry on top to have, after all of this bullshit, as beautiful as it's been, to have Jay be the one to get the pin on Roman. Whether Solo stays with him or joins, I don't know, but I think at least that part should happen. Whether it does, but I'm going to take that it does.
Before you go, Ian, Steve says Usos to win. I think Solo gets pinned for a second PLE in a row, which means Roman loses for the second PLE in a row. Roman doesn't accept losing in tag matches. More friction coming after that one. All right, Ian, what you got? The Usos or Roman and Solo Sikoa?
So I don't really think anything's going to happen too much with the match storyline-wise, but I do think I think the Usos are going to win this one. I'm not very confident about that pick, but I do think they're going to win. I don't think Roman gets a pin yet, or get pinned yet. I think Solo takes the pin again, kind of along with what Steve was saying, and it kind of. I think this is the whole storyline so far this year has been trying to psychologically break Roman Reigns, and kind of take him off that pedestal, which I eventually think will happen. I think he might try to turn babyface maybe if he loses and gets pinned. And immediately starts sucking up to the Usos and kind of accepting that he was, not a good person to him.
Yeah.
I think that's when that babyface turn comes, but it's going to be a while.
Not yet, though. So not at Money in the Bank.
No.
More dissension happening is what you're saying, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what Kyne's got to say. He said there's a character limit on YouTube, so I can't say all I want for this match, but he'll shorten it. He says the Usos win. He thinks Jay pins Roman, like myself. Builds Roman versus Jay, and he's able to say he pinned Roman. Solo won't do it quite yet. So he doesn't think Solo is going to turn on Roman, but he does believe that Jay is the one to pin Roman Reigns. And Steve said, I will go one further and say that Roman accidentally spears Solo, leading to the Usos win. See, there are ways to do it. The chat's figuring it out, which I like it. We appreciate that. Juggernaut said the Usos win and Jay pins Roman. There's another one right there to set up that match for SummerSlam. So it seems like a lot of people are expecting Jay Uso versus Roman at SummerSlam, and I think that is probably what we're going to end up getting. Kine also said emotionally, I can't see it right now, or I'll emotionally be drained if Solo spikes him at Money in the Bank. And I guess Kine is kind of alluding that it might be a lot too soon because we just had the Jay and Jimmy turning on Roman. So maybe Solo going to his brothers would be too soon. Maybe. What do you think?
I mean, it's already been long-term storytelling. You might as well stick to long-term. It doesn't need to break so suddenly because you're still striking gold. You're still getting historic, reactions on Twitter to all these clips. You need to keep it steady until it starts simmering. That's when you make the next big turn.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Pat said another PLE and another card where Roman doesn't defend his titles. No wonder he's held the title for so long. As much as I can't wait to see this match, Roman not defending is just so crazy. And Kine's got an answer to him. He said he doesn't need to defend them. His recent matches have been for the cinema. This is storyline work, not title work. And then Pat just said, yeah, it's just crazy. Yeah, I think people have kind of just neglected the fact that Roman hasn't defended the title actually that much just because the story's been good. And the Erica, I remember we've been doing podcasts for 5 years together? What have I always told you that interests me the most? Storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
So this, I will take this more than him just defending it every pay-per-view against, no disrespect, but like Cesaro. like Erica, we knew what was going to happen when he faced Cesaro a couple years ago, right? I don't need to see that.
That's true. Yeah, I guess at this point it kind of needs a match for him to defend it would be something to build. It would need to be a slow build,
right?
As in like this Jey Uso.
Yeah, for sure. So all of us are going with the Usos, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
We the ones. Throw it in the air. Throw it in the chat. There it is. Take a screenshot. Last match here. Men's Money in the Bank. Oh, I'm excited. We have Ricochet, LA Knight. Yeah. Logan Paul, Shinsuke Nakamura, Santos Escobar, Butch, and Damian Priest. Eric, I know you're going to hate that I'm going to say this, but you got to go first.
Well,
first, let me ask you this. Give me 2 names you're not even considering in that list.
Unfortunately, probably Shinsuke. And who was the first person you said?
I said Ricochet.
Oh, Ricochet.
Okay, my 2 that I'm canceling out are Santos and Butch.
Okay.
I think
keep going.
Yeah.
I think it comes down to Logan Paul, Damian Priest, LA Knight.
Yeah.
Ian, would you agree? Top 3? Yeah.
Yes.
Erica, yes, I would agree with that. So obviously Logan Paul didn't earn his way into Money in the Bank, but I feel like all of us could totally see them just giving it to Logan Paul just because he has all this exposure, can put it on YouTube, his podcast. How do you feel about if Logan Paul were to be the one to win Money in the Bank? Would that agitate you?
I don't know if it would, because he wouldn't be around as much, which I think would alleviate our worries that it would be cashed in really quick. I think he would kind of just like you said, I would like the exposure that it would give, but I think he'd also just kind of like toy around with it and like drop in sporadically versus like a tease every week. I guess I wouldn't hate it, and it would set us up for like another awesome match that he will eventually lose and then maybe go away for a little while.
Yeah.
Not the worst.
My point with the Logan Paul stuff, and I think me and Ian have talked about this too off the podcast, is that, I mean, he doesn't need Money in the Bank. I get why you give him Money in the Bank, but Logan Paul literally sent out a tweet last winter and got Roman Reigns' attention. He got a title match. Logan Paul doesn't need Money in the Bank to get what he wants. He's Logan Paul. He's an attraction. He can get into any title scene he wants to without Money in the Bank. We don't need – save that for somebody that can actually use the briefcase. That's where I stand on that, Ian. Ian, I'm not asking for your pick, but what are your thoughts if Logan Paul were to be the one to win?
If he were to be the one, it would be smart financially, but I don't think he has a single chance of winning it, and I don't think he should win it.
I don't know. Yeah, Steve was saying the same thing. Him winning showed off in the podcast outside of WWE. And like Erica was saying, one less briefcase to creatively book. And then when he does return and you hear that music, you really could think that he is about to cash in. But yeah, I don't think we absolutely need it. I wouldn't be pissed off, but the internet would definitely be pissed off if Logan Paul were to win. So Erica, going off of those 3 names you gave me, LA Knight, Logan Paul, and I'm Damian Priest. You're going to have to give me one. Who's winning Money in the Bank?
I thought we were going to keep knocking them out.
No, we're not knocking them out.
Wanting to go into this, I mean, I thought that it would be LA Knight all day. But then I thought I read something that said that there was a surprise outside of him, Logan Paul, and something else so I don't know what that meant. Like, did that mean like, oh, he's not going to be, I think LA Knight would be I think you strike while the iron is hot in some instances.
Yeah.
And as hot as he has gotten, I know people have their gripes about him, but like, I could see it's between him and Priest, and I just don't freaking know. I really want LA Knight. I think Damian Priest, there's something interesting about it with the whole Judgment Day thing. Fuck it. I'm going to take LA Knight.
Oh, okay. I was going to bring up Steve's comment that maybe it would help you decide. He said Priest deserves this as he was the dance partner to Bad Bunny and made Bunny look like a star. Priest has been teased in the main event matches and losing. He wins when it counts, and that is Money in the Bank. So Steve is going with Damian Priest. I don't hate that pick whatsoever. But Erica's riding the LA Knight train. Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Steve said LA Knight. The time is now. Mid-Carter, who is over like Rover. Every catchphrase works. The crowd loves him. Going with my heart and going with Knight to win. Okay, so he thinks Priest is going to win, but his pick is LA Knight. Sort of like what I did in the women's. Mayor Kant says, yeah, wins. Just imagine how fun it would be getting him with the mic and the briefcase. And that seems to be the popular pick is LA Knight. But Damian Priest makes so much sense. I mean, he can tease the dissension with Finn Balor. And like Steve said, they've been putting him in main event situations. He was the star alongside Bad Bunny at Backlash, and he delivered. I think they know what they got in Damian Priest. I think they believe he is a main eventer.
So maybe they don't think he needs the briefcase.
That's what I was going to say. Good
call.
I'm
sorry.
So no, that's fine. You're starting to pick up on my booking here. I like it. That's why I don't think he wins, because I think he's big enough to earn that on his own. Shinsuke, on the other hand, Shinsuke is a guy that just keeps losing. He returned a month ago. He's losing. What do you do to get him back to the main event? Give him a briefcase. Sure. Ricochet. He'll be there for the spots. I don't believe him on the microphone, so I don't think he's going to win Money in the Bank. You need someone that can talk to be Mr. Money in the Bank. So it comes down to Logan Paul and LA Knight for me. And let me talk to you. There's no way I'm going to do a Money in the Bank prediction show and not go with the megastar, LA Knight. Yeah. It's his time. He's in his 40s. If not now, then when? It just, like I said, Logan doesn't need it. LA Knight, could you imagine every week him just coming out to the pop with the briefcase in his hand saying, let me talk to you? Everybody's going to buy into LA Knight as that briefcase winner. Just give it to us, WWE. Please, for once, don't make the internet mad. Give us what we want. LA Knight, Mr. Money in the Bank.
Give me what I want.
Give me what I want. Yeah. All right, Ian. Are you going to make it a clean sweep, or you? First off, let me hear your favorites. Top three. Who's in your top three?
Top three are LA Knight, Shinsuke, and Logan Paul. Damian Priest is not in there for me because I don't think he's the one to dissensionize the faction.
Is that a word?
I don't know, but I made it up.
Now.
Dissensionize. Look it up, people. It's a word.
Descending something.
I'll take it.
So here's the thing I was going to say with Logan Paul. Logan Paul doesn't need the Money in the Bank. The Money in the Bank needs Logan Paul. You're getting eyes to this match from Logan Paul just being in it. I'm good at one-liners. I've been watching Bully Ray for a while. But yes, I think this comes down between LA Knight and Shinsuke. Shinsuke hasn't gotten a lot of wins lately, as we all know. There's been no push behind him.
Zero.
And I think it's going to stay that because you have to strike while it's hot, and that's L.A. Knight. L.A. Knight's going to win. Just
that worries
week
me.
In, week out.
Oh, that worries me that all of us are going with LA Knight, guys. That means do not pick LA Knight. That's what that means. Whenever we're all on the same page, bad things happen. There might be a solar eclipse right now. You don't know.
Those happen.
Those don't happen that often. That's why.
Oh.
Steve said, I think an LA Knight versus Logan Paul feud would be amazing for SummerSlam. That feud could get Knight to the next level. And I think that's a feud that can be done with either man holding that briefcase.
Yeah. And plus, I like to.
No, you got to say, yeah. Do it again.
No, I don't. I've never done it. I don't have
First
the.
time for everybody. It's okay.
I don't have the base. No.
Come on. It's not about the base.
It's all about the base. Don't you listen to Megan
No
Trainor?
trouble. Yeah.
I love to think of like his music too, like his music, especially like as a match is going to like interrupt the match where it's just like, ow, you know, like that was a bad impersonation, but you know what I
mean. Can you do that one more time?
Night. I don't know how it goes. Yeah.
Can you hear it? We're gonna get copyrighted.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great pop right there. We all reacted to it.
Yeah.
Steve asked, one last question. Do we see another viral spot with Logan and Ricochet?
Oh, I bet we do.
We do. I think we'll see it. Just hopefully it's not a spot like Sting did on AEW Dynamite. Sting, what are you doing, man? Why Erica, why are we doing that? He's
Why
old.
are we doing that? Don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Ian, what do you think about that? That was unnecessary.
He had to have wanted to do it. That's if he was forced to do that. That's sad.
I think he said like
he would never say no.
No, I think he's still like just like an animal upstairs that like.
Oh yeah.
He would never turn down anything.
And I think I read him say that like if something were to have happened, like he would have been happy that like that it happened doing that like on AEW or something along those lines.
I went out through a table against Sammy Guevara. That is the way he wanted to go out. That's what I heard at least. But hey, we're here at the end of the show, an hour and 20 minutes in. We ran a little late, but for the most part, there are 8 to 10 of you watching us live. And for that, I thank you. The chat was very active. I even got a private chat right now from my co-host, and he is agreeing with me. Ladies and gentlemen, you all were great, but this man was just him tonight. We have an and still MVM of OTM, Steve. The man retains. We haven't had a guy retain in consecutive weeks in a while, Ian, but here we are, back-to-back weeks. Guy's on fire right now, right?
Steve has got the fantasy booking. That's what won me over. I'm a big fantasy booker guy, and he kept rolling out with them, and I kept in my brain, oh my God, that makes sense. Steve, kind, I love you, man. Don't know where all the respect came from, but the random comments aren't as good as the fantasy booking. So hit the fantasy books a little bit. Just saying.
Is Ian trying to persuade the audience into how to win the MVM?
How to win? I'm glad you guys just
how you win me over.
Asking me.
It's all right. I wasn't going to ask any of you because I had that already written out. The award was already given out.
I choose everyone.
The MVM himself says, thanks, gang. Appreciate it as always. And we appreciate you guys watching. Erica, thanks again for stopping by. I mean, 2 weeks in a row. What do we do to deserve that?
I know. You're welcome. Because it's your birthday month. Yes.
That's not a thing. See, I hate when people say birthday month. I don't do
Why?
That.
Your birthday's over. It's fine.
It is. I'm 30 years old now. It
You
stinks.
You guys are old.
Yeah. Any final remarks, though, Erica? Where's the excitement level for Money in the Bank?
Well, not as high because I'm not going to watch it. So maybe like a 9. Which is normally it's
still really good. That's still really good. For Erica, she averages about a 12.
Yeah.
So that is below average. Ian, any final remarks before we sign off for episode 151?
Fun show as always.
Mm-hmm.
It was great to see everybody in the chat. I mean, I don't think people have realized, but we've been going for an hour and 22, and it's been.
It does not feel like it, guys.
It feels like maybe 20 minutes.
It was a very fun show.
You know what? Fuck it, guys. We're going for another hour. OTM after dark. I'm just kidding.
Let's talk about Dynamite.
Erica was thinking, is he serious? I was like, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing this anymore. Trust me, I don't have anything else to talk about. But yeah, I think that's all we got for him this week, guys. So thank you for listening to the On the Mark Wrestling podcast.